So I'm assuming that you guys are in a room.
We are in the down below the where we keep our provisions and stuff and crates in the ship.
Okay, and I'm assuming you guys didn't sneak to here, or at least Dilute didn't.
No, and Diley was like wandering around on the ship, like talking to anyone present, being like, but, seen a big dragonborn go anywhere? Oh, downstairs? All right, me too.
Also,
Okay.
talking is a free action. It's only been 6 seconds.
And so is the entire tea time.
Sorry, go ahead.
uh, so you probably would hear a knocking on the door.
I think the door's probably open.
It's literally just like a ladder going down into the hold, so he could.
Oh, in that case, you'd be like, Dilute, Captain Redfang, are you down there?
Yeah, Vane. Diley immediately looks concerned.
Yeah, I like give you a look. Yeah.
Do you mind if I join you?
Go ahead.
What do you say?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Vane is
Vane.
getting visibly nervous.
Vane climbs down the ladder. Is this? I'm assuming there's chairs here and a table or something.
Diley's sitting on a crate. I assume Vane is doing something.
Thane probably would have been, but now he's more like uh distancing himself from wherever Vane's coming down and from Dilue.
Yep. Okay. So, Captain Redfang, I needed to apologize to you for my unseemly display earlier. I had overreacted in a situation where there was no danger where I saw a great crisis. I apologize. I had allowed my confidence in my first mate capabilities to blind my judgment. I hope that you can find it within you to forgive me.
With new information has come to light that Vane, I feel like I need to apologize to you as well. I was not aware of some, I don't know, hang-ups that you had. And I was not good at this.
I feel like Vane might not be either.
Yeah.
Given how often.
In that case,
Thane
if this
apologizes
is
to
like legitimate Thane like
Yeah, sure.
okay, that I think can also be laid at my own feet for not being clear enough with my own struggles, allowing my pride to overcome my practicality.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be the first in this particular.
Regardless, I'm sorry as well.
Okay,
You okay, Vane?
I am fine.
He'd look fine.
Vane would look normal.
Okay.
Right now.
Dileu accepts this.
I don't know how to do this without rolling, but Thane would inspect Vane as much as he could, basically checking for echo. And when he realizes that you're presumably not echo, he would completely drop anything that meant to you Captain Redfang and go back to like default Thane.
Okay.
And say, God dang it. He would say, Vane, you remember back when I would change my face every day?
Yes.
That's going to keep happening. I feel like
I can understand.
I feel like oh, go ahead, sorry.
I had grown too complacent.
I feel like this is the only way that I can keep myself safe from Echo.
If that's what must be done, it is what must be done.
I was looking at Thane like,
Thane's got nothing else.
Let's see. Because I feel like Vane does have something he wants to say in that, but I have to weasel it
Go
out.
for it.
Sorry. If you guys think of something that you want to say, jump in, because I'm not quite sure exactly how to get to it.
yeah. Dilue was just kind of looking at Thane like, that wasn't so hard. Yeah, I thought we could probably sort something out.
If that is something that we can do, that would be greatly appreciated. But
Well,
I
yeah.
think, as we all know, Echo could be anywhere at any time. And any signal that we had for one another is as like to be assumed by her as by anyone else.
You ain't wrong.
This is true.
I will simply have to improve my vigilance to take into account more variables.
I think we can probably all stand to do that. I mean, sometimes we've just got to do our best and gamble on it, like we did with Orento. Think we did enough to reasonably assume. Couldn't do much more than that.
Well, in this silence, I feel as though it is my duty to break it. Therefore, allow me to inform you that Orin has written a book.
Book, you say?
Yes, a gift from my dear brother Lenny. He's authored it himself in, don't tell him that I said this, a very crude hand.
Dilue was tilting her head like, when the hell did he have time to write a book?
You must ask him to show it to you. It is quite excellent.
He wrote a book for your brother?
Indeed. It is called Vane Yara and the Frost Daggers.
The Heroic Adventures
Oh,
of Vane
yeah,
Yara.
he would say it correctly. I apologize.
Orin wrote a book about us?
Yes, all of us.
That's... That's something.
It is quite endearing, is it not?
Yeah. Does it go all the way up to the current bits?
It does. Until we arrived at the shore.
Is there any part in the last, I don't know, like 10 pages where it's like Orin realized that he hated Dilu's guts with a passion heretofore unknown?
The emphasis is mostly on Vane Yara.
Okay.
I will say, because I didn't go over it before for Vane's knowledge, the Shadowfell is touched on, and Dilue and Orin, it would have talked about it kind of like overcome great hardship together, and it just talks about it being rough, but they managed to like fight their way through it, and it's kind of, young or early high school writing kind of that story where it's not doesn't talk about tearing into each other, but that they managed to fight their way through to the end. Kind of like, if you know what happened, you get it, but if you don't know what happened, it just seems like they overcame a lot. But it's definitely not like there's no one has talked bad about at any part in it, and that kind of fast forwards through the last month talking about the research and stuff.
So the way Vane would present that is, um, how to respond to the question with that? Let's see.
It was a leading question.
Yes, and I don't think Vane would respond to it directly, which is the tricky part. As is appropriate for a book about the frost daggers, not a single one is cast in a darker light.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hang on. Yep. No. I don't know. Thane's got a really good thing about that, but after this morning, I don't know if he'd say it to Vane. He'd say it to anyone else. No, actually, after what Dilue just went through with Thane, he wouldn't say it. Never mind, we're good. I'm gonna say it out of character though. Out of character. Oh, so it's a work of fiction then. There we go. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Like, well, that's what's it say about Thane Thornskull?
I have to abstract that, and I can't actually, obviously.
He paints him in a good light, and he's heroic.
Yeah, same thing. He's the one key that I think fits well from yesterday's description is that the daggers came to the Frost's aid at their hour of greatest need. Like I think that's a good tone for how they're presented through the book.
Out of character, this is not going well in Thane's head. Because, yeah, sorry, I sometimes hate bogging down stuff with out of character stuff, and this is too good. In Thane's head, he's going, "Yeah, we did."
I was nodding, like, oh, that's real nice. See, I think that the weirdness between Dilue and Thane right now is probably so palpable that one
yeah.
could like touch it in
Yeah.
the air. I don't know whether that changes anything for Vane, but it is like
Let's see.
a
You
dynamic.
clearly
between
stepped
them.
into a moment.
Yeah.
But Vane is often just like an oblivious rock in moments like that. Let's see.
Would he just start talking about the book in various details?
I think potentially, yeah. I think that's where he would go next.
Dilue looks touched.
Thane does not. And Thane is, I don't know how noticeable this would be, but Thane is not saying much.
I think Vane would interpret that as completely normal.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, Thane has played himself. Yeah, I think that would probably go on for a little while. Dilue is trying to figure out what to do about the situation. Dilue is using this opportunity to have her eyes completely glaze over, while continuing to feel touched. Just kind of thinking.
I'm listening, but my mind's thinking about something else right now. Or sorry,
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Not an unusual thing to happen when Vane speaks. For Dilue.
Yeah, and this hostile vibe is also not terribly out of place. No. Yeah, I think he would go on for a while. Before I think he would probably just transition to starting to leave.
Oh, man, you beat me to it.
Vane,
Yes, Dilue.
Did you say Vane or Thane?
Vane,
Oh, okay.
Mr. Menthaliara. Diley kind of, I think Foley just puts her head in her hands. Like,
Do you have a hangover, Dilue?
no, I sort of wish I did right now. She looks at Thane. It's like,
Thane, I don't know how to describe this, but Thane gives you a look that's like, don't you dare.
in Thieves' Cant, she says, tell him that you're pissed off at him. Tell him that you feel like he's never had your back, and this is in like in reality, she's recounting another story of the cool things the Frost Daggers did that would like fit into
Yeah.
the book.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you remember that one time we...
Vane is
Yeah.
engrossed.
Yeah. Like, just tell him what's the worst that could happen.
In Thieves' Cant, he could send me to the Feywilds.
For 6 seconds, you'd live.
I'm thinking about what he'd say, sorry. Thane would respond in Thieves' Cant and say, with what happened this morning, now is definitely not the time.
When is the time gonna be?
I don't know, but it's definitely not now.
Do you want to give me like a date, timestamp? Because it's gonna have to be today, you realize, probably, unless you plan on not making an issue of this and, you know, shipping out with the Frost Daggers. This one, don't try to weasel out of this. This Frost Daggers with Vane and me and the others tomorrow. Ain't got a lot of time left for you to decide what you're gonna do here.
I'm aware. I don't have a time for you, Tyler.
Okay, well, then sounds like now would be a great time. Of all the times. Do you think at this point the epic story starts to sound a little agitated and irritated?
I've never known you to be this devoted of a storyteller, Dilue.
Oh, you just ain't heard me get into it, Dilus says, very distracted. Switching between common and Thieves' Cant, I imagine, is a nightmare.
Well, you can say Thieves' Cant in common.
That's true. She's like, I mean, look, yes, now isn't ideal, but the alternative is that you just never say anything to anyone and you leave me to clean up a hell of a mess. And I don't think you would do that. So, how about you tell Vane how you feel, Vane, now?
I'm thinking.
As long as he doesn't think you're Echo, he ain't gonna freak out.
I have to
Which,
think about it. I don't know.
The story keeps getting longer that Dilue's telling.
yeah, Dalu's starting to just really throw in like really elaborate subplots that don't go anywhere. Like,
Vane's starting to get confused because he thought this was a story about the Frost Daggers at first, and now it's becoming something completely different.
yeah, it's like, well, and then there was also this person in the village, and this is their life story.
I didn't
and-
know that we looked into their life, Dilue. That's incredible.
Wow, well, maybe I spent more time with them than you did, Thane. Because this is the thing, if Thane is pausing to think, Dilue has to keep going.
Yep.
So she is. She's not saying anything in Thieves' Cant. She is just
I
doing her best.
don't know. At this point, I don't know if it's Well, nah, yeah, Thane would be thinking. God, I don't know, but Paul, can't think while other people are talking, so
Okay.
Okay, we'll
It's-
be quiet.
it's never gonna happen. All right. He'd say something. Okay. This is now in normal, regular comment.
The story stops abruptly.
Yeah, yeah. I would say something to Dilue like, all right, I'll do it, and then yeah, abruptly. He would say, Vane. Oh, shoot, actually, hang on, time out. Non-character time for a second. Was the group aware of? Sorry, the group I know was aware when I wanted to leave at Dragon Island. Were they aware when we wanted to leave on the boat? I think not, right? Yeah, okay. So then you would say, Vane, I've felt like my goals have not been aligned with the group's goals for quite some time. And, oh man, yeah, he would, shoot, actually, hang on one sec, time out. That's my bad.
No worries.
I did have something for Vane. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I've been thinking of no longer. Sorry, nope. I've been thinking of. God dang it. Let me start over. Vane. My goals haven't seemed to align with the group's goals for quite some time now. In addition to that, it has always felt like it's been the frost and the daggers. In particularly, or no, sorry, it's felt like it's been the frost and the daggers, and I feel like now's the time for me to return to the daggers. I would still help you fight Alphen, but it would not be with the frost daggers.
I am sorry to hear that, Thane. If that is how you truly feel, I am surprised. I knew that you had disagreements about how we should proceed. I did not understand how strongly that difference was felt. However, I do believe in the course of actions we have taken, so I won't apologize for having taken those actions. So, sorry. The things you had said was, hey, I think Thane has felt like we haven't had the same goal. What was the other thing? It was a bit circumstantial, so I didn't track it.
In addition, I feel like it's always been the frost and the daggers. Yeah.
I can only speak for Vane Minthale Yara when I say that since we fought the beast in the boiling bubble, I have always thought of us as the Frost Daggers. And I know that that hasn't been true for all of us. But for me it has been so. And it saddens me that it seems that I am the only one that believes it has been so.
You ain't the only one.
Sorry, you said, what was the last thing you said? It feels like I'm the only one that feels like it has been so?
Mm-hmm. And then Dilue said,
Not the only
Yeah.
one, yeah. I don't know if Thane has a response to that. Yeah. Just leave it at that.
I mean, me and Oren come about as close to throwing things at each other as anyone ever has last month and a half. And yet, I guess when it comes down to it, we also sailed the ship together across the ocean and still made it here and still agreed on joining the same war. So,
And towards the end of it, sailed a separate ship. Also out of character, am I correct that the Frost was on one ship and the daggers were on another?
no. No, we were just in different rooms on the same ship.
No. When we went to attack the Dizzy Mother.
that is correct. yes.
Dilute meant the last leg of this voyage when we were taking the Forge Bunny to.
Thane would bring up, and then so yes, wow, we were on the same ship, and then we were on our own ship, Dilue,
Well, to be
Frost.
fair,
and the daggers.
well, no, to be fair, it was the Frost and the Frost. Well, no, okay, it was the daggers and the Frost plus Sato, actually, until such a
Wait.
time
Did you
as
know that Paul's memory was wrong? There were 3 different ships that we were on.
at the beginning there were 3 different ships. It only dropped to 2 when Vane and Vanaya's ship was destroyed by a bolt of lightning. And in fairness,
Sorry, I feel like Thane still had a point there. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah,
Vane doesn't seem to be following it. He seems confused.
Dilu's also not following. Dilu's like, yeah,
We were
Dilu says what
We were on our own separate ship, Dilue, and they were all on their own ship.
ships.
And I forget the name of it, but I'd say the final one that they were on.
Okay. Yeah, because we partied together, and then Fox was like, "Hey, you want to come on our ship?"
Are you saying that you wanted to trade your place on the Forge Bunny for one of the Frost?
I'm saying that throughout our whole time, it has always felt like the Frost and the daggers, and that was another time when it felt like the Frost and the daggers.
Is there something that you would have liked to see different?
In that particular moment,
Then we can treat that one as inevitable, a failing that was destined to be. Is there anything else that we could have done
in other moments.
in other moments?
Oh my god, I'm going back through my notes. Hang on.
This conversation is so brutal and great because it is us having to have the same memory as our characters for everything that we've ever done as a group.
Is this about Black Razor?
So yeah, Black Razor. Hang on. Black Razor's a point. The ring talk was a point. Again, like Scott was saying, this is a lot of character knowledge that I forget, but there was a lot of times on Meikuna where it felt this way.
We did spend a lot of time talking about Black Razor and Meikuna.
That encompasses a lot of talks, yeah, I think.
The right before the fighting the god, there was another split point.
The great riffraff and trespasser argument of 2020.
See how would Vane. So I think I would need Thane to. Can you speak that as Thane?
I can try, but I can also fail. Okay. So there were the ships that we talked about. every time we've talked about Black Razor, it's been the Frost and the Daggers having different thoughts on what to do there, and that's been a lot. Paul forgets what happened, but so tell me if I'm wrong. But talking about what to do with the ring yesterday.
I think yesterday, yeah.
Whether we're going for that was another good one. Whether we go after Echo or Alphen.
That one Dilue kind of goes like,
out of character again. There was a vote of should we go after Echo or Alphen, and it was Dilue and Thane versus them.
Dilue voted with Thane and then spent like an hour telling him why she disagreed with that decision.
Yeah. That's what he would say to Vane too, though.
Wait, did you say that Vane, that they had that hour-long disagreement? I assume not. I assume that's still a private piece of information.
I would say,
yeah.
Should we go after Echo or Alphen?
Dilue kind of goes, yeah. In fairness, though, I do think we should go after Alphen.
I think kind of like rolls his eyes. Lots of times in Makuna, which again I'm just hand waving because I forget them. And the spat when we got Riffraff and Trespasser.
About the language?
That was part of it, yeah. It was really just so yeah. Thane would say it really comes down to the fact that the Frost has never seemed to trust Dilue and Thane, despite us always having your backs.
Allow me to prove you wrong. Dilue, could you hand Thane your medallion?
Sure. She takes it off, hands it over.
I assume this is the medallion of mind reading or whatever that I assume requires attunement.
It does.
Oh, does?
It does. Dilue is willing to sit here for 1 hour. Break attunement on this item. I make Thane attuned to it.
I know this is really meta stuff, but this is a thing where it's like it gets into mechanics of the game and stuff, and that's like I don't know if we should do that while Jared's not here.
I think just because can you normally break attunement on an item or like just sitting somewhere for an hour?
Breaking it?
I think breaking attunement also takes some amount of time or something, right?
Yeah. In that case,
would offer to go.
So in that case,
is getting the actual squishy like game rule.
So in that case, because I hadn't realized that, Dilue, would you use your medallion on me? Sorry, I didn't hear you say anything. Did you say something?
Are you sure?
I am certain.
Okay.
I did also let Jared know that I was going to prompt this before.
Okay. Yeah, she does.
So the most prominent thing in Surface Thoughts that is different is he internally has the same acrid tone that you heard for a moment with when he was chuckling earlier with his hand over his head.
Taking a deep dive into Vane medallion.
Well, the deep dive is on specific things, right? So it's
whatever is most present for that person at the time. So you can shape it by talking to them, naturally, but it comes from them.
Yeah. So you'd hear at the start, I can't believe that I have to go this far in order to have even a semblance of trust from these two.
I look kind of herself.
Yes, Mercy.
Hi, Mersims. Hey. Not in front of the camera, Mercy.
Ask anything you wish. Anything you wish to know.
You're asking Thane? What are you asking, Thane?
No, he's asking you to ask him things.
Ask anything you wish to know. Oh boy. So again, out of character, you just gave the secret master full reign,
Yeah.
and Paul is not a great secret master, but
What a display of trust. Checkmate. Vane and Dilue.
You would feel there is an undercurrent of fear from in his mind here, and a sense of urgency, like he needs to do this.
Thane would totally think of something better than this. The best thing I have is shoot. Hang on. Yeah, okay, so remembering that I don't think while Vane has been here that I've said that I'm thinking about leaving, Thane would ask, Vane, how would you feel if I were to leave the Frost Daggers?
You did mention that you were thinking about leaving.
Shoot, did I
You said, like, I think the time has come for me to rejoin the Daggers.
Yes.
Oh, crap, I did. Okay, sorry. Whoops, my bad. Okay, how bad of a spy master Paul is.
But Thane's got nothing on your notes, Paul.
I appreciate that.
Thane pulls out his
Paul's really
notebook.
good at pre-thinking about things. Paul did not think Vane would be a part of this.
Thane pulls out his notebook in which he's written down every wrong the Frost has ever committed against the Daggers. If you want a moment to think about it, I could use.
Yeah, and I can actually take this
5 minutes.
moment to
Actually,
support
yeah, I need to go to the bathroom,
video.
so let's...
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,